Hey, what's going on, guys? This is JP.
This is the Bug.
This is JC.
This is Flash.
This is Denny Hendricks.
And you're listening to
You're listening to
the Run and Gun Podcast.
So what's going on, folks? Welcome to another episode of the Run and Gun Podcast. Tonight, finally, we got back JC. So what's going on, JC?
Oh, man, you know, that golf career is taking a whole lot out of me. You know, it's tough trying to keep a Maxim model holding a caddy bag, I'm going to tell you.
You wild. And then back again for, a record 5th straight episode. What's going on, Flash?
Damn, 5th straight? I didn't even realize it. Man, I lost count.
That's about to end. I'm going to hurt you tonight.
Did you bring your dog?
Yes, the dog's around.
Oh, okay. You got to have the dog. And then also, too, joining us tonight is our special guest from the Buccanidiots Podcast. And honestly, crazy thing is, when I met this dude, I didn't even know that I actually met this dude, if that makes sense. Like, we had crossed paths a few times and stuff, but didn't even notice it until, like, here recently. So I'd like to welcome Stank Bastard to the Run and Gun Podcast finally. So how are you doing?
Good, man. It's a pleasure to be on y'all's podcast. And listen, I didn't know it was dog friendly. I would have had my dog up in here. I don't golf at all, but I like the idea of having a Maxim model as a caddy. I mean,
I also use a camera stand as a putter.
Okay, I like it. You got to think outside the box in life, because life comes at you fast, and you got to be able to MacGyver your way through things. So clearly, you have that level of intelligence. You can just make things out of as you need to, make it up as you can.
Absolutely. Thank you. I like this guy. This is going to be a clean episode.
Awesome. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. And I'm going to lead off with the NBA, because I know this is something that Flash wanted to hit on, especially picking up from last episode. So the Houston Rockets coach Steven Salas, I think that's how you pronounce his name.
I think it's Salas. I don't know. I think it's
Salas. Okay. So he's referred to James Harden's absence from training camp as a holdout on Monday. It said there's no timetable, but James Harden showed up eventually. But, a lot of people have been talking about James Harden.
He still wants out.
Exactly. So,
I don't know. That one's a tough situation. I personally think that he wants out the way how he's been behaving,
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's plain and simple. I don't think he's going to the Nets, though, because the Nets are not going to offer what the Houston Rockets want. Well, what the Houston Rockets believe is what he's worth.
Mm-hmm. So, okay. So about the other thing too, what was the other thing you wanted to hit on with the whole Rockets situation?
I mean, I kind of want to hit on like how much the Wizards might have gotten better this season. That's what I was really thinking at. But we could talk about the Rockets too and the James Harden thing.
Hold on now. Don't disregard the Rockets now. Hold on now.
Get them.
Listen now.
Get him.
What have I been saying this whole time?
Yeah, we all know it's James Harden. We know that.
He think he Batman, bruh. He run around with a utility belt, a mask, dropping 50 points, but he ain't Batman. He Robin, and now he done realized it.
Damn.
Hey.
I mean, where are you gonna go so he can be a Robin?
Obviously, he want to go to Brooklyn. Shoot, I don't know.
But hey, Brooklyn, they gotta want him too. That thing gotta work both ways.
Listen, man.
The thing is, I don't think Brooklyn wants him like that.
Listen. Did Gotham want Batman?
You know what?
Exactly.
I'm not good on deep.
Look. I'm gonna go deep on you. Look. All right. All I'm saying is we've seen these problems bubbled up before. Now that everybody seems to realize that the accepted fact that James Harden is the problem, now all of a sudden he wants to catch an attitude.
Well, I mean, this is how he always behaved. Whenever something goes south or he doesn't like, he just ends up at a strip club or partying or something. We've seen it from time to time again in history. So it's nothing new.
I'm just saying.
This is just on a worse amplified level of what's going on.
That's all I'm saying, man.
I mean, superstars in all sports today. That's the card they pull, right? They just act a fool and they try to force their way off of teams. Obviously, I'm not an NBA head. Otherwise, I would have interjected a long time ago. I just know James Harden has a sweet beard, and he can shoot.
That's all I got too. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if he becomes a Tampa Bay Raptor, at that point, I'll pay attention. You know what I mean? That's my team from day one.
Hey.
Oh, you a Tampa Raptors fan?
I've been a Raptors fan since before y'all was even born. Tampa Bay Raptors. Through and through.
Wow. That way, huh?
It's that way. Yeah, exactly. If they play ball in Tampa, I will rep them. I have a Vipers hat. I mean, the Vipers still a thing.
The Vipers are no longer a thing.
Oh, yeah. Wait.
Back.
Yeah, they said they're supposed to come back in like 2021 or 2022 because The Rock, he owns that now.
Yeah, The Rock and his investors bought the league. Yeah. I got a green and yellow Vipers hat right here in my office.
Dang. See, I might have to take in the game when they get back.
See that, ladies and gentlemen, the day one fan.
Day one.
So the other thing in the NBA is LeBron says that the best thing about his deal is a future with his son. Now, if I'm not mistaken, and someone correct me on this if I'm wrong, wasn't like the last father-son duo in any professional sport? Wasn't it just the Griffey, King Griffey Jr., King Griffey Sr.?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last one.
So what does everybody think about the possibility of LeBron playing on the same team with his son?
That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? I mean, that'd be historical in the NBA.
It'll be historical.
Yeah. It'd be crazy to see it.
I mean, I don't know if he's gonna be on the same team as his father, but I think it could happen for sure.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
I'm with you.
I mean, I think he said that like he just wanted to just be in the league at the same time as his son. I don't think he necessarily said the same team. But who knows?
No, I did hear Frank Gore is trying to hold out for the same thing. He wants to stay in the NFL until his son.
Yeah.
I heard that.
Yeah.
I heard that also, yeah.
Because his son's like a sophomore at Southern Miss, isn't he? Or a junior?
I think so.
Something like that.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so look, the ageless wonder already, so I think he could do it. And then the way I look at LeBron and the way LeBron's playing and how LeBron says that he could probably keep going for a significant amount of time, and I'm just like, it's gonna happen because LeBron's son has got to be like what?
He's 16.
He's 16, so he'll be in college in about 2 years.
Yeah, so 3 years.
Yeah,
3 years.
Yeah, see, so it's gonna happen. Because LeBron was even talking about like, look, I'm good for another 4 or 5 years guaranteed. So it's gonna happen.
How fast you think?
Y'all go ahead. One of y'all go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think it's a heartwarming story. You know, you love to see it. You know, dad do his thing. You know, and then also son come up do his thing. You know, the NBA is a little bit different from the NFL. You know. Less contact, physical. So I think he can do it. Frank Gore, I don't know about that one, boss. But
I mean, it's astonishing
love
that
to see
there's
it.
even a conversation. If you think about it, that position, running back of all positions, you could potentially see it quarterback because those guys play forever, man. Look at Brady, 195 years old and still playing, right here in Tampa. But the running backs are in and out of this league quickly. Like they go from being great to done quick, like snap of a finger. Look at Todd Gurley.
Yeah, especially with the devaluation of the position.
That too. So for a guy like that who started his career with every question mark imaginable, they were saying he'd never be able to play in this league because of injuries he sustained in college. For him to have the life he's had, which is they should make a movie about Frank's life. Honestly, they really should. Netflix movie. I don't care. I'll watch it wherever it is because it's an incredible story.
You know they're not gonna do that. It's gonna be a Hallmark
is fine, bro. My wife's mom, when she comes over here, it's all about Spanish music and the Hallmark Channel, and that's all that happens at my house.
But you see what you just said right there. You said your wife's mom.
That's my mother.
That's the demographic right there. Nobody else gonna catch that.
It's terrible acting. It seems like it's the same producer on every show, but it'll catch you, bro. Don't sleep.
It's got to be about Christmas too.
I ain't gonna lie. He right, because it's bad acting, but it does catch you. Because I didn't see a few of them.
Wait, tell me you guys saw the preview to the Colonel Sanders movie.
Oh snap!
I have not seen the preview, but I saw the picture.
Mario Lopez playing Colonel Sanders.
Yeah,
that's supposed to be a real Hallmark movie.
I really didn't believe that was real.
Please,
man. Please tell me.
It's gonna put up numbers, bro. It looks terrible. The preview's funny as hell. It's awful. It's so bad I want to see it like Sharknado.
Hold up.
Oh, God, not like Sharknado. Oh, man.
Hold up. Because I'm going to look it up.
And your listeners need to look this shit up because I couldn't believe it. My jaw hit the floor. It was all over Twitter earlier today. By the way.
Oh, snap. I think it is real.
Follow me on Twitter at Stank Bastard.
They said KFC pushing it. Oh, Lord.
Wait, it's loading. Hold up.
Hold now.
Colonel Sanders. Oh, snap. Yeah, it's real. Recipe for seduction.
Just like one of them graphic novels that all those housewives read. It looks like something straight out of that.
He gonna head over to 13 herbs and spices of love right there.
I'm watching.
I might watch it. I might watch it. I might catch it.
I'm gonna have to watch this.
But kudos to KFC for just thinking outside the box and putting something out there like that. This is a wild world of marketing these days, and that they hit it right on the head with that. We knew the internet was gonna take that and run with it.
Yo, oh, I'm dead. Oh my God! But hey, we're gonna shift on over now to the NFL, and first thing, what we got right here is so I believe it was Monday, the Steelers came back to reality and they lost to a team with no name. They led 14-0 at one point.
The Steelers lost to a team whose quarterback has 1.5 legs.
He gonna win comeback player of the year too.
Which is mad respect, but I just want the Steelers to put it into perspective,
True. So let me ask y'all this now: do you think they're gonna lose back to back? Because now they got the Bills coming in, or no, they got to go to Buffalo and play the Bills on Sunday night.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say yes. I don't think they've been playing that well to begin with. Actually, there's a lot of prognosticators that predicted Washington was going to beat them, and it happened. So they're not playing great football right now. They're obviously wounded, and I think Buffalo puts it on them. To be honest with you,
I'm gonna be real with you. I agree because I was saying that like right after the game. I was like after the Buffalo game because I was like, Buffalo looked really good. and the Steelers look kind of So I wouldn't be surprised if Buffalo cut loose.
Did I just hear everybody agree? Because one of y'all, I know, Stank, you good. You don't have to worry about this. I know one of y'all argue with me about me saying that Pittsburgh isn't as really as good as their record says.
Who was that?
I don't know. One of y'all. That's all I know.
It wasn't me because I posted a picture on Twitter talking about how their schedule was soft.
Well,
so that only leaves one
I don't
person.
remember saying any of that.
That only leaves one person then.
Exactly.
I don't remember saying that. So
now, see, hey, the other person it could be too is it could be your boy Hendricks that normally be on here with us, but he's not on here tonight.
I don't think he'd ever defend them. But I will say, like I have been saying, their schedule was really easy. I don't really think that they have the chops to be able to make a really strong push in the playoffs. I mean, despite what their record may say.
True.
It's all about when
who's the
you
best
get
team
hot,
the
though,
Steelers
right? I
beat?
mean, we're in the last 4 weeks of the season, and the teams that are trending, towards being strong right now are the ones you got to watch out for in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
That's why, with the extended wild card field, you just never know, man. Like everybody's shitting on the NFC East. One of those teams is going to the playoffs. One of them is going to win the division, and you're 0-0 in the playoffs. It doesn't matter how terrible your regular season record was. You better watch that a lot. Washington's got a hell of a defensive front. They played. They've gotten them got those boys playing, and they're playing with some fight, some chemistry. A team like that you don't want to see if they get obviously if they win that division.
Yeah, I won't lie. Despite my God-given hate for the NFC East and their play, I will say that the Giants, especially as a Seattle fan, and the Washington Redskins, they playing a little tough lately. They playing a little tough to make you give them a second look. Like if they get there, if one of them gets there, you can't fully count them out.
Now, see, now that you,
I was agreeing with him. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Now, speaking of the fact that you said that, that brings me to the next thing. So the Seahawks ended up losing 17-12 to the Giants. I didn't get to see the second half of that game unfold.
I got it.
So,
I got it. Everybody
I just want to know what happened.
In my phone, everybody at my phone at the exact same time that game ended hit me up and said, what the hell happened? When I left, it was 5-0, and all of a sudden now there's an L on the Seahawks. What happened? And you know what? I don't know. I didn't watch it either.
I just saw the first half, and then I stepped out for a minute. So I was like, I came back and I was like, wait, what? Like, and then y'all lost to the Giants, but hey, it's like Stank said, look, they playing good here down the final stretch, and then when you get to the playoffs,
they didn't have Daniel
they
Jones,
lost to Colt McCoy on top of that, which is
Colt McCoy.
All right, listen, y'all ain't got to talk about.
Oh, look, the Giants play. The Giants played tough.
Josh,
the Giants haven't. The games they've lost have been all tight games. When the Bucs faced the Giants, I was questioning what the hell that performance was. But after doing a little research, I mean, that's how the Giants are playing everybody, which is crazy. Without Barkley and the way they're seeing on so far. Even though I like Gallman, I think he's a good back, underrated back. They're they got them boys out there fighting in that division because everybody's alive. Even the fucking Cowboys are still alive if things get turned on their head, and you just never know. It's nuts. Never seen anything like it.
I was gonna say, wait, the Cowboys, they 8-8, right? Or no, not they could be 8-8 by the end of the whole thing. They could be if they go. No, hold up before y'all crucify me. All I'm saying is, if they were to somehow miraculously go on a run, wouldn't they be like 3-8 or something? Because they're 3-8 right now, aren't they? Or like 3-9.
Hold on. Yeah, they're 3-9.
Okay, so they'd have
go on a run. They'd be
7-9.
7-9. You thinking about the Eagles? They're 3. Oh well, they're 3-8-1. Never mind.
But 7-9.
Yeah, I've given up on.
You just don't know. It's playoff picture.
Yeah.
I'm very doubtful. I'm just saying,
I mean,
like, that division is not finished yet. Even the sorry ass Eagles might find their way. I mean, they just benched Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
I think Jalen Hurts gave them the spark they need.
What the fuck happened to Carson Wentz this year?
Yeah,
holy shit.
Right? Like, he looked really bad early.
He does. I mean, I get it. That team has been gutted on offense. The weapons just aren't there, but he looks like trash on top of that. He's not, I think he kind of exposed a little bit. Once the weapons went away and it was all on him, I think he panicked a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with you. I always figured, like, maybe getting like Miles Sanders and stuff like that, like guys like that, maybe that would help take the pressure off of him, but evidently it didn't. So I'm just like, ugh. And the thing is, I wanted Carson Wentz to be good too. I was like, okay, guy coming from an FCS school, national champion there. I want to see him succeed, but I'm just like, dang, like, I'm ready to see Jalen Hurts take over.
They have too much money invested in Carson to just completely close the book on him.
Well, I feel like they closed the book once they took Jalen Hurts in the second round.
Yeah, but we're assuming that Jalen's going to come in and play, markedly better than Carson on that team that just has, something's missing. Obviously, a lot of their weapons are missing, but something's missing. So you never know. At the end of the season, with a regular year, non-COVID year, full training camp, all the weapons back. I mean, it's Jalen's job to lose now, right? But God, he's got $100 million deal. It's hard to, unless somebody trades for him, which there's going to be a lot of quarterback thirsty teams out there, so that's a possibility.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I liked what I saw out of Jalen when he played. But I mean, it's only one game, so I can't.
Yeah, but backup quarterbacks get that benefit because defensive coordinators don't game plan for them. The defensive players have never seen them. They don't really know what set of plays are coming at them. But give it 2 or 3 weeks, of play of game film. Once the Eagles put it on tape and they know exactly how to play Jalen, and let's see if he's still successful in this league.
Yeah, he's right. I agree with that.
That's very true. Because before this game, most of Jalen Hurts' highlights in the NFL was just him running the ball.
I mean, I don't doubt he can succeed if they build an offense around him. Look at fucking New Orleans, bro. I mean, they got a tight end playing quarterback, and they're doing everything possible to help the guy. No ego. Fuck Sean Payton, by the way, and fuck the Saints, but.
I knew he was going to say that.
I like coaches who were willing to throw the playbook out and build something fresh around a guy that's going to accentuate his strengths, and that's exactly what they've done there. 3-0 without Drew Brees. Jameis Winston's just sitting on the bench, wondering why he's not playing, I guess. And so if the Eagles do the same and build around Hurts' game, then potentially, he's going to have a better chance of succeeding.
True statement.
But the thing is Doug Peterson like Sean Payton though?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we're going to see.
Yeah, we're going to find out because they play the Saints actually this weekend.
Yeah, and as much as I hate.
That'll probably test. That's not.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as much as I hate the Saints, the defense is the strength of that team. They're beating teams front. It's no question. And it's gonna be an uphill battle for Jalen. Obviously, I hope the Eagles kick their ass, but I wouldn't put my money on it.
True. Now, the one thing I'm gonna say on the Saints before I jump to the AFC North is anybody else noticed that, like, with Taysom Hill in the game, like, I mean, I've kind of noticed it just based off looking at fantasy, but has anybody else noticed that, like, when Taysom Hill's in the game, like, Alvin Kamara's, like, his production kind of decreases?
Of course, because oh my god, I'm tripping right
But
now.
like Latavius Murray looks good though still.
Well, I think it's the opportunity because, they use him a lot, especially as a receiving back. And they're not throwing the ball as consistently as when Drew Brees is on the field. I just don't think he has the opportunities that he was getting when Drew Brees was on the field, which it goes back to what Stank was saying, building the offense around the guy who's playing. I mean,
Yeah.
And it's obviously working.
Yeah, I mean, if for the style that they're running, which is a pound the ball type style with Taysom, Latavius is a better option, and we've all seen Taysom throw the ball. It's not a guy who throws with touch. He reminds me a lot of Tebow and how he pitches the ball. He throws strikes, but he's not the touch guy. He's not the guy you want, floating balls out there in front of corners and linebackers. So I think that they've taken a lot of those plays that Kamara's game is built off of in that offense, and it's just not allowing him to get on the field as much. Plus, in red zone, Taysom's a threat, so your backs are gonna get robbed of carries down there, and why wouldn't you? You got an extra man in all your fronts because Taysom's like a fullback running back, so you're gonna play the odds down there, which is what the way they used them. Even before Drew Brees got hurt.
Yeah, I must agree. It's just a style of play. Less touches for Alvin Kamara, in short.
Right.
In order for Taysom Hill to succeed in that offense.
Okay. Now, the other thing that happened this weekend was, I don't know if I know y'all saw it. Everyone, the whole world saw it, but the Browns just went off on Tennessee, and now they get Lamar Jackson and the Ravens on Monday night. So who thinks that the Browns can take down the Ravens?
The Ravens look overly impressive to me. Was it last night before? I don't know.
They looked suspect.
Yeah, it was last night when the Ravens beat the Cowboys.
This I'm getting thrown off by football every day of the week. It's kind of been odd to have Tuesday night football and Wednesday night football, but yeah, I mean the Ravens are also one of those teams. I get it. Lamar was out, came back. So maybe they hit the ground running this week, but that's a division game, man. There's a lot of skeletons there, and Ravens have owned the Browns. It's like when the Bucks play the Saints, bro. It's like, big brother, little brother. Are Cleveland ready to mentally get over that hill? Are they ready to punch the bully in the mouth? I don't know the answer to that yet, man. I mean, this game is going to say a lot about whether they're real or what we saw last week against the Titans, who is a bully. The Titans play bully football, right? I don't think they knew what hit them.
Yeah.
Before they knew it, Cleveland was throwing the ball all over the place and came out and attacked them quick. They made a game of it, but maybe that's how you have to play the Titans, because you can't play smash mouth ball control. You can't play the Titans game, or they're gonna beat you every time.
Yeah, and see the one thing that I noticed was what they did was the Browns defense, they took Derrick Henry out of the equation completely. Like he turned the ball over, which is like a rare sight to see. And like you said, they started throwing the ball all over the place and having success with it. And Tennessee just never could catch up. And by the time they even could catch up, it was just way too late. So I give kudos to the Browns for that. And, Baker Mayfield's got to play at that same level or even go higher if he wants to have a chance to beat the Ravens. Because if I'm not mistaken, is that game in Baltimore? I think that game's in Baltimore.
I think it is.
Yeah, see that, which adds even more to it. Like now you got to go on the road.
I mean,
go on.
I got a question. Are you still skeptical with the Ravens with how inconsistent they've been this year?
I
That's my question. Because like I know they beat the Cowboys, but then we're talking about the Cowboys. You know, that's just my question right now.
I listen. I like Lamar Jackson. The guy is a freak. But until he proves he can carry that team in the air, I don't know. I don't know how serious I can take them.
You know what? I'm glad you said that because that's the same thing I've been thinking.
That's what I'm thinking.
Josh, you've been kind of quiet lately.
Hey man, I'm just sitting here and learning, bro. Listen, man, I just got off an exam. I'm just here
What
vibing.
kind of exam?
I'm relaxing. Well, you see, a 2-page essay, 2 1-page essays, 6 paragraphs, 6 identify things, and then some extra short answer in there somewhere.
Damn. Doesn't sound like too much fun.
Fun stuff. Oh, absolutely not. But less about me. I'm just enjoying myself. You guys are saying all the things that I would say anyway, so I can't really apply anything to the conversation. I mean, we've talked about before how Lamar Jackson not being able to throw in the air is a problem.
Yeah. Even even like Steve Smith and Troy Aikman and all those guys last night, they hit on it. Like they were just pointing out the fact, even Michael Irvin said it. There's a lot of wide open guys on crossing routes that Lamar missed. So and it wasn't even like deep crossing routes. It was like shallow crossing routes, like 8 yards downfield, 8-10 yards. Which, I mean, to me, that's not that deep, but everyone's different. But, it was like behind guys. It was too high. It was too low.
Yeah.
But
He's still a young
Stank. I'm
player.
like you.
I think the guy's ceiling is stupid. I think he's got a higher ceiling than Pat Mahomes. I mean, just what he can do running the ball, a different kind of pressure on defenses. And if he ever gets it figured out, learns how to read defenses and can, get his mechanics and accuracy in a better place. It doesn't have to be like a Aaron Rodgers type quarterback, but he's a freak.
I agree.
I'm with you there.
They're two different kind of players, though. I mean, one is a more of a pure dual threat quarterback, while the other has more of a boomer arm.
Yeah, I mean, Pat's not a guy that's going to beat you with his feet too often, but he can. He's very similar to Russ. Russ in that way. Russ can beat you with his feet. He just doesn't do it that often. So he'd rather throw the ball downfield. He'd rather use his legs to extend plays.
It's more like if he has to,
right? And you saw that with Vic. Vic, he relied on his wheels until he got hurt quite a few times, and then realized, hey, there's some big boys out there trying to hurt me, and had to kind of change his game later on in his career. I thought he was a better quarterback for it, but and he had the same. He had a stupid arm, though. That's the only difference. He's a guy that could do it, could throw it a mile, throw it out of the stadium. So different players, but the Ravens are building offense around them. They play phenomenal defense at times. They're a tough team to beat. If things are rolling their way and the run game is rolling, look the fuck out.
And the interesting thing, because Stank, I know you a Bucs fan and I'm a Bucs fan too. So the interesting thing about it is also come 2022, Lamar Jackson comes to Tampa.
We don't draft quarterbacks here anymore. We've been talking about that. I'm also a co-host, actually more so these days, on a podcast called the Loose Cannons Podcast. And
that was the name of it.
I haven't recorded many Buccanidiots episodes this year because we've been doing so many Loose Cannons episodes. But that's our opinion on that podcast as well. Bucs won't be drafting a quarterback anytime soon. As soon as Brady leaves, Aaron Rodgers will come in, and we're just going to keep on signing quarterbacks off of other teams just for the next 40, 50 years, because we obviously can't draft one here. We've never had a quarterback signed to a second contract. This franchise is cursed when it comes to quarterback.
I think part of it has to be with development as well.
Yeah.
I think that's.
Imagine a guy like Josh Rosen is the one. A guy who just got here and got shit on every step of the way, was drafted by a terrible team, was given away to the Dolphins, and the Dolphins drafted him, and he's a guy that nobody wants, first round pick, and he comes to Tampa on a Jameis deal just to sit here and learn behind the GOAT. Imagine he's the one that breaks the quarterback curse here in Tampa.
I'm glad you said that. You know what? Because see, look, this is what I had mentioned to JC about, like, I want to say maybe a month ago. I was like, yo, the Bucks got Josh Rosen on their practice squad. And he looked at me, he didn't look at me like crazy, but I could tell by his reaction through this phone how he was feeling about it. Because I was like, hey, look, I don't know, but I was thinking the same thing you thinking, Stank. And I was like, what if he actually ended up being the guy? It would be crazy. Yeah, like, so I'm just like, hey, hold up now. Like, I wouldn't count out Josh Rosen yet. Like, it could be one of them stories where it's like, you know what, like his career was dead, and then next thing you know, like he came here and he got right. Like nobody wanted him. He was kind of like the ugly duckling story. And then you've got a franchise here, they ain't never found no quarterback. And then it's like the perfect marriage.
I'm going to let you know. I just gave that too.
Deservedly so, because the guy hasn't done much on the field to warrant any real excitement. But again, drafted to two terrible teams.
True.
Basically neither coach wanted him. Kyler came in and took his job, and then Tua came in and took his job. But maybe it's for good reason. Maybe the guy just doesn't have what it takes. But I mean, with the young quarterbacks, a guy drafted that high, he's got to have some skill, and maybe in the right system with the right coach. I don't know if this is the right system. I don't know if this is the right coach, but he may get an opportunity here to learn, behind a guy like Brady, and that can't ever hurt. Maybe he learns like Aaron Rodgers had a chance to learn behind Favre before he got started, because it's been a rough start to his career. That's damn sure. I'm not out here.
Hey, Stank,
millionaire. Yeah, it sucks.
One question I actually got asked for you.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Bruce Arians so far this season?
That's a tough answer. I was skeptical of the Brady signing from the beginning. I was clear that I preferred the Bucks keep Jameis. I didn't think that Tom was a fit for Arians' offense. And so far, I think that it hasn't been. To me, the offense has taken a step back. Obviously, the turnovers are a lot better. At least in the passing game. I think we've run the ball a little bit better. Tom's obviously more efficient with the ball, but Tom's not a guy who's going to go through his reads. He's going to make that pre-snap read and, maybe get through the second read and get the ball out of his hands, which is why a guy like Mike Evans' numbers have dropped so significantly, because, Mike is a guy who fed off of Jameis, extending plays, and Mike getting open down the field, and he had a lot more opportunities with 50-50 balls, which Brady isn't comfortable throwing, although he threw one to fucking Scotty Miller the other day, which didn't make any fucking sense to me. But you're gonna throw a 50-50 ball, better be to one of your beasts out there. But I think the story's still out on Bruce. I like Bruce as a coach. We have his son Jake Arians on the podcast a couple times a month. Tells it how it is. He's not gonna make excuses. But I mean, we're 7-5, so it's hard to be critical when we're in the position right now to make the playoffs.
You can't be too critical about him.
We're finally in the position to make the playoffs, and most people on Bucks Twitter and Bucks Facebook are still crying and complaining, and you still got the Jameis debate going on, which is I'm sure you're fucking sick of. Guy's not coming back ever. He don't want to be here. He was cast off, and outside of Jason Light and this whole team refreshing, you're not going to see Jameis back in Tampa again. So, you move the fuck on. I don't think he's going to be in New Orleans next year either, but I could be wrong.
I feel the same way about that. I feel the same exact way about that because I'm just like, look, he's there on a 1-year deal, and then like there's a lot of people saying like there's a lot of people on my Facebook that have been saying like, if the Saints are smart, they're going to start Jameis and stuff. And even I remember they did a story on Big Nasty, and they were saying like, if Jameis ever got on the field,
was going to start, and then all of a sudden Taysom Hill was announced to be the starter, and then everyone's like, "What the hell is going on?"
Hey, but Taysom Hill been winning, so look, I can't fault him.
Who has Taysom Hill beat? The Falcons and who else?
The Falcons, and then he beat a quarterback, a team. No, he beat a team without a quarterback in the Broncos.
Drew Lock.
That's it.
I think he's won 3 games.
Yeah, I think he won another one too.
They beat Atlanta twice,
right.
And they beat the Broncos. I don't know. That's why I feel kind of skeptical about saying. I mean, yes, wins are wins, but like with Taysom Hill, I'm just kind of skeptical with those.
Yeah, I don't know that you can go a full season with a quarterback like that. Breeze will be up.
Or make a legitimate playoff.
They're a team that's going to be in some serious cap trouble next year. Obviously, Brady or Breeze will be off the books. Depends on what Jameis is asking for. I have a feeling that Jameis is going to have a big market versus what he had coming out, because this league right now, man. Some of the teams, some of the quarterbacks that are starting right now, couldn't hold Jameis's fucking, dick. It's ridiculous. A quarterback like that.
I agree.
I don't give a fuck how many interceptions he's thrown. Guy threw for 5,000 yards in an offense that you're gonna throw a lot of interceptions in, and put him in the right offense. I don't know that this offense, or the offense in New Orleans, is the right offense for Jameis. The quick passing game, I don't know if that suits him either, because I don't think he's a guy that cerebrally makes the right reads quickly like that. So I see him in a guy. I thought he would have been great on a team that it's a run first team like Tennessee. I think he'd eat in an offense like that.
Right. I was kind of like on the fence. I was thinking like maybe him and John Gruden together wouldn't be bad. That's true. That's true too. That's true too. And is Mariota like the backup, or is he like the third string?
I think Word, there was no real training camp. I think word was Mariota did not look good, and I think he was the third string quarterback.
Ooh.
What do you guys think of the Bucs run game so far this season?
I'll be real with you. For me, it starts up front.
Jordan,
first things first with me, I really feel like they need to go ahead and get rid of Donovan Smith. I've seen the offensive tackle out of Alabama, Leatherwood, who plays the same position and was finishing blocks against LSU. Give or take, LSU's not that good of a team this year, but he was pancaking guys. He was good in pass protection. He does all the right things. If you can play offensive line for Alabama, I think you're already set, to be honest. But I think that's where it starts, on the offensive line. Also, too, huge shout out to the FAMU folks. Florida A&M has an offensive lineman, a guard that's coming out in this year's draft called Calvin Ashley. You can check him out. I actually mentioned him to one of the other guys we follow on Twitter. And I asked him, I was like, what are the chances? And he was saying, give it some time. He could probably replace Alex Kappa. And I was like, hey, look, it's not a bad option. But I think Ronald Jones has been pretty – now, he hasn't been bad this year, but he's been pretty nice. Leonard Fournette has been questionable. Like, I felt Leonard Fournette was going to have a greater impact. Shady McCoy is just MIA right now. I don't know what's
hate to be
going on
that guy,
there.
but I forgot he was on.
And
It's because he's gotten one carry in the last 4 or 5 weeks. Hasn't seen the field. Yeah, he hasn't seen the field.
yeah,
I think your criticisms are fair. I think outside of one Buck place, nobody in Tampa wants Donovan Smith to return. Nobody in this fan base wants a guy to return. I mean, clearly we could use an upgrade at that position, but it's hard to find a guy who's durable like Donovan, a guy who who at times looks good and at times looks like he doesn't belong in the NFL. So you got to question, maybe his mentals. If he's got the physical skill to play in this league, but he just has these lapses in effort, and it just doesn't make any sense. I thought for sure adding a guy like Tom to the locker room was going to correct that real quick, because Tom's notorious for undressing people for their effort and for not doing their job. And then, straight out the gate, Donovan gets worked over, first game of the season against New Orleans, and you're like, oh, here we fucking go again. I don't think we're an overly talented run blocking offensive line. I think we're above average pass blocking offensive line. I think Kappa's been a surprise for me, honestly. You don't hear his name, which typically means the guy is doing well. He was drafted as a tackle and converted to guard, and that's a completely different set of skills, completely different body type. And I heard the guys over at Pewter Report talk about how Kappa spent a good portion of the offseason rebuilding his body to be, to play guard, to be better suited to play that position. Because people think that offensive linemen are interchangeable, but that's not always the case. You don't always have guys who are that versatile who can play every position on the offensive line. So, I think Cap has actually been a surprise. I was ready to send him to the Sun, years ago, but he seems to be getting better, which, we haven't had a coaching staff that's been able to develop offensive linemen here in forever. Who's the last guy that we developed, not a first round or second or third round pick, but somebody we developed off the practice squad, or a guy we developed from the later rounds to come up and be a starter. It hasn't happened here in forever. So we had Rojo on the podcast last week during the bye week. We also had his coach Luke Neal on. Rojo to me seems like a different back this year, confidence-wise. He's running with a purpose. He's running angry. I know the NFL Network gave him that angry runs mantra, but he seems to have taken that to heart. I just don't like the play calling. I think it's been predictable in too many settings. We don't do much to try to fool defenses. We kind of run what we run, and that if I have any criticism of Arians and this coaching staff, it's that they don't seem to do a lot to scheme guys open. It's just like, this is what we do, stop us. And you know what? They've been stopping us, and we've been ineffective. And Brady hasn't been accurate at times. With the ball, he deserves some criticism too. We've had a lot of guys playing hurt. On top of that, this bye week came at the right time. We got 4 games left. This next game is a playoff game because Minnesota needs it as much as we do. We're gonna see what this team's made of this week. They've had 2 weeks to prepare for this team. Minnesota's not a good team, but they're scrappy. They're not gonna lay down. And Dalvin Cook's coming to fucking take your head off. He's coming to get that 200 yards. We better be ready to play, because Vita Vea is not manning the middle anymore. We're not as stout up the middle as we once were. And once Vita got hurt, this defense really started to struggle. We can't generate a pass rush consistently with 4 guys. Sometimes JPP looks like a world beater, and Shaq Barrett's missing, and then he flashes, but it hasn't been anything to write home about, which is exposing our young secondary. And I don't think Todd Bowles is calling as aggressive as a game as he normally would, because he's scared.
Right. See now, Josh. See, he said everything that I've been trying to tell you.
What? Whoa.
He said everything I've been trying to tell you now.
Bucks podcast, whether y'all want to or not.
Now hold on. Hold on now. Now I gotta grab me a drink and some Yoo-hoo now. Hold on.
All right.
You know, started.
Wind you up.
Hold
Hey,
on. Let
Russell
me just
Wilson.
shake this hand up real quick.
I'm just kidding.
Now, let me get into you. Now, first of all, this conversation that we had, you were speaking on the fact that it all resides
does it
on
all
who?
reside on? The fault? Who
Who?
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Who? No, I'm talking to Peeps here. On who? What did you say? This
I
was
said
last week, so I know you remember.
I said it wasn't all on the players.
That's not what you said. It was all on Leftwich.
I didn't even say it was all on Leftwich.
Oh, here we go. Oh my goodness. We need somebody to bring up tapes. I swear. That's gonna be a thing. That's next budget meeting. We gonna need somebody to bring up some tapes. Because we had a whole argument. He said it was all on Leftwich, and I'm going, well, some of it has to be on the players, right? He's like, no, blah, blah, blah. This is all Leftwich. This is the whole argument. So I was agreeing with you, Stank. I wasn't gonna say nothing, but now he wants to bring this back
I mean,
up.
you can't argue Leftwich deserves a good amount of the blame. Although recently, Bruce Arians, as well as others, have said that it's Brady's in there calling a lot of these plays. A good majority, in fact. Right. Which
that's what I saw too.
More.
I saw that.
I don't know about calling plays, maybe choosing the plays that are getting called. Some players have a knack for or feel for what should be run at what time. Not just because Brady's the GOAT doesn't mean he has that natural ability. Like I'd say Peyton Manning or somebody like that did to just be able to I use fighting as an analogy for football and play calling all the time. You got to set guys up for certain things. You got to set a guy up for a certain punch. And it's no different in play calling. You got to set things up well before a lot of times to be able to get that strike. And I don't know that Brady has the knowledge of this offense to do that. First of all, that the players around him have the chemistry with him enough for him to do that, like he did in New England, where he could just give a nod to a guy and they knew exactly what they were saying. How many times have we seen Mike Evans and Tom Brady look at each other after the pass sails behind them or over them and like, what the fuck was that? Where was I supposed to be? Evans is like, I read it this way, and Brady's like, well, I read it another way. So chemistry's been a big issue with and I don't know if it's Leftwich or Brady, but whoever's calling the plays deserves criticism.
I agree. Now, we're going to shift gears here before we jump into the NCAA. I like this. We having fun. I like this. We're going to hit on FAMU real quick. So, Stank, first things first, before we jump into the world of HBC sports, how familiar are you with HBC football?
I know they have good bands. I don't honestly. I don't follow HBC football whatsoever. And I know that was religious for me to say that.
Hey, listen, that's all you need to know.
I've been to BCC fan games before at Raymond James or the old.
Oh, so you went to the old. You used to go to Florida Classic back in the day,
where One Buck Place used to be. My parents had a business in that store, and the Florida Classic more than once, and it was always fun.
Right,
always a blast. I'm old. You gotta remember, I'm old. I'm an old man.
Okay, so you see, you know. See,
I know you an old man because I heard it as soon as you said BCC.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, okay.
So yeah, he knows. So I don't really have to baptize him like I had to baptize Flash, but so he already knows about it.
Exactly what he said right there. I know they got good bands. That's all you need to know right there. Good job.
Exactly. See, so you got
the whole chance.
You already did. He already did good. So one thing I'm gonna say is, so as of 2007, they're now called Bethune-Cookman University. So it's BCU. And then, honestly, I really feel like since the Classic moved to Orlando, I feel like, and even a lot of people, like my dad will even tell you too, I feel like the Classic has well, not the Classic, but Tampa has missed out on a lot of revenue because now Orlando's just eating it up every year.
I don't know how they let that get away, honestly.
Because
what the fuck is in Orlando for traffic and lots of COVID at a bunch of theme parks? I'm saying Disney.
Disney.
We should own football here. Orlando, they got a basketball team. Let them have their basketball team. Let us have all the.
Yeah, I'm gonna save that for a special episode with you and my dad. I'm gonna bring you and just let y'all just talk about how how the Florida Classic missed out or how Tampa missed out with the Florida Classic and stuff. So I'm gonna save that for a special episode. But so the way with FAMU, the way things are going right now, they've already began selling tickets for the Orange Blossom Classic, which is another classic that's owned by FAMU that they played down in Miami. So right now it's set for September 5th, 7 p.m. down in Miami Gardens. The game is against Deion Sanders' led Jackson State team. So, yeah, you might have heard about that too.
I did.
Deion is the head coach of Jackson State.
There was rumors that Warren Sapp was going to join his coaching staff. I was like,
Oh my, don't even get me started. Oh my gosh. So it was so funny with that. Like you had guys, they were talking about, Warren Sapp's coming to coach the D-line. Jamie Dukes is coming and then Terrell Owens is going to coach and stuff. And I was like, first of all, let's pump the brakes because you want all of those egos in one room together.
Warren Sapp doesn't want to coach.
Grade and Phil.
That guy, retired, fish. Just live a lavish life. Probably try to worm his way back into the media somehow. He needs to be behind a microphone. So, so he hired a couple strippers, whatever, hookers, whatever he did. Let that talk.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I like the correction.
Yeah, because he even came out and said, he was like, I ain't going to no Jackson, Mississippi. Hey, look, I don't blame him.
But you know what? We can't say that because that's exactly what I argued with Deion. I was like, why he want to go to Jackson, Mississippi? He showed up there, and Twitter was talking about that wasn't his wife either. But
Whoa. Hold up now. You gonna start something.
Hey, he want to at me, he can at me. I'm always on.
I bumped into Warren at the Bucks game 2 weeks ago, and bought him a drink. And then me and him have had. He followed me on Twitter for a little while until I said some outlandish shit like Levante David is. I asked the question: is Levante David a better linebacker than Derek Brooks? And he unfollowed me for that. I was just trying to get a conversation started.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Did not like the fuckery whatsoever. And I bumped into him. Yeah, exactly.
I remember that.
I don't know.
Come from my neck when I saw the game.
Yeah, they probably might.
Be back on Twitter. I've been trying to get him on our podcast for a while now, but nailing Warren Sapp down or having him do something like that is extremely difficult. He keeps saying he's going to come on with us, but he's yet to show up. He left us at the altar several times. So.
Well, I will say this though, as we move on to the NCAA portion of this podcast, I know it's been a while since you've seen a FAMU game or even HBCU game. So, hey, look, I'd say wait for the vaccine first to become fully effective if you believe in that type of thing. And hey, go on down to Miami Gardens. Go check it out. I know I'm going.
I'm a football junkie. I coached Pop Warner for years. I coached at the high school level here in Tampa, Warden High School. I'll go watch girls flag football. I will go watch football. If football is being played and I have the opportunity and a crew to go watch it with, I will go because I love the game. So you don't ever have to sell me on football.
Hey, I'm telling you. Go, hey, get on down there.
Hold on, can I get a society little impasse right here? Hold on. So you gonna take the coronavirus?
Would I take the coronavirus vaccine
to go see football?
just so I can go watch football? I mean, I'll I'll take it anyways. Vaccines don't scare me. But I'd take it more so to protect myself and my family, for future, be able to spread it to my elderly father or something like that. But yeah, I'll take it. Okay. I got first see if there's a zombie wave like everybody else is doing. Everybody, that. This culture watches zombie shit. When the first thing out of everybody's mouth is, well, I've seen 28 Days Later. I've seen Walking Dead. Like, people really think that humans are going to become zombified for something. This is like the next thing. My wife, she already told me she.
Oh yeah, there's preppers and all that. I'm not worried about zombies. I just, you gotta pump the brakes a little bit. It's like the PS5. You never get the first one.
Yeah, that's why I ain't get one.
You gotta pump the brakes a little bit. So I'm gonna let them, go get some other guinea pigs. Let them test it out.
I'll take the PS5.
Know everything's safe. I ain't worried about the vaccine.
If somebody has one, holler at your boy. I would like to have one because, I want to get on this Cyberpunk very soon. I know I can play it on my PS4, but it's just not gonna be the same.
That's true.
It's not. I done seen
how
it's so nice.
How long y'all gonna wait to see for this wave of guinea pigs to go through? How long are you gonna give it?
Oh, to take the vaccine.
For what?
To see all the side effects of the vaccine. Yeah.
I'm gonna take an antibody test first, and then
to
make sure that I haven't already had it. And then once I've determined, once that's determined, I'll probably end up taking it. So.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about it. It's all jokes for now. For now.
Yeah.
but something pop off. I get to cool out and be like, yeah, it wasn't me.
Well, Europe's going to get it first, so
we're
going to hear how it goes over there. I mean, they're going to obviously they're talking about rolling it out here pretty soon, but I think you're going to have millions over in Europe that have
December 15th
by then, and so we're already going to hear. Listen, no matter what, nobody's body is the same. You can eat peanuts if peanuts could kill your friend, or that's just the way it goes. When you ingest certain things, everybody's body responds to things differently. So, are there going to be people that have issues? Yes, and you're going to hear about it, by the way.
Don't let the anti-vaxxers tell you that.
You're going to hear about it because that's what having 24-hour news media, 50 fucking channels and Twitter, like, you're going to hear about it. You just have to understand the odds of you getting sick, or the risk. What's the risk versus reward? And I think a good majority of people will be just fine. But you're going to have the anti-vax crowd out there who's going to say, hey, it's going to cause this and that. I don't know.
They got
the nano brainwash me. They've been trying.
Yeah, connect you to the 5G.
That's mumble rap. That's the nano program.
Wow.
Bro. That's what's brainwash.
I won't lie. I saw something about growing a third arm again. I was like, I'm interested.
Hey, JP. So
what's up?
Cincinnati, how you feel about that? I think they got Iowa State.
Hold on, I'm gonna jump on that. I'm gonna jump on that in a second. Hold up. So
I was about to say, good job. You got to slide us back to the NCAA. I didn't take us all over the place.
Yeah. So September 5th at 7 p.m. Miami Gardens, FAMU and Jackson State. Tickets already available. So if you're gonna get them, go ahead and slide and get them. I know I'm gonna wait a little while. My folks are gonna wait a little while to get them. So I'm gonna be down there. But yeah, Stank. Honestly, hey.
Well, listen,
get your crew and just go. I think y'all are gonna like it.
Makes me indirectly a FAM fan, I guess. That's as close as I can get to it.
Right. See, look. Now you got to slide to homecoming, and you got to go to the classic now.
See, look, this is how it always start. He gonna ask you to do that. Then he gonna be like, "So you got home game tickets?"
What's wrong with that, man? He's you gotta
it never ends.
You got connections, you gotta use them.
He's right.
maybe it's a little different for me. I can't go nowhere because
But listen, you're testing, so that that's a temporary thing. We're all broke at some point in our lives. Shit, I was broke most of my life. Not that I'm rich now, but
Yeah, that's true.
You wouldn't
That's
be on
very
it
true.
right now if you were lazy.
You're right.
You're a hustler. You'll find your path and it'll come. Listen, life isn't all about money, anyways. All right?
Wow, man, you're gonna make me tear up on the podcast.
I'm not trying to
Oh, man.
No,
man,
our
it's too
next
late.
podcast,
I'm already
talk about
invested. I'm
12
invested.
steps with Stank Bastard.
I like that. But yeah, so let's go ahead and slide into this NCAA, and then we'll get up out of here for the night. So the college football playoff came out, and the top four is still the same, of course. Nothing really has changed. One major thing that happened was, the Big Ten has voted for Ohio State to be able to go to the playoff, not the playoff, but go to the Big Ten championship and play against the likes of Northwestern, and with only 5 games. So they realize, Ohio State makes money. So that's what it is.
And anybody thought that wasn't going to happen,
as it stands right now.
That was always going to be the case. They weren't going to let that money making name not be not be in the championship.
Exactly. And then because my thing was, Ohio State fans kept saying, oh, you sound scared and stuff because you don't want Ohio State in the playoff. I was just like, look, I was asking a simple question. I was like, hey, they're going to hold a vote anyway, but I need to know, what's y'all's plan if Michigan cancels on y'all? That was the question, but it seemed to me all the Ohio State fans wanted to beat around that question. They didn't want to talk about it.
So I could see how
they were like,
how much more Michigan fans. Ohio State fans would have hated Michigan had it been because of Michigan not being able to play that kept them out because they couldn't play that extra game. Obviously, the rivalry is as heated as it gets, but that would have just been one more thing to hate each other for.
Right? Yeah. Exactly. But
it would have been a great thing to watch from the outside.
Oh, exactly. And then you got Ryan Day, who threatened to drop 100 on Michigan because Jim Harbaugh said something in a conference call. So I was really looking forward to seeing this game, but now it's just going to have to boil over for 2021.
Oh, because I guess he snitched on him in a call or something. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So I'm just like, hey.
It's fun. It would have been very interesting to see. I would have been down for it. Outsider looking in, I'm not a fan of any of those teams.
Who are we
Especially
fans
not
of
Ohio State.
here on this podcast?
Just true.
Anybody but
anybody except Ohio State or Alabama.
Yeah, it's just anyone except Bama, really.
Well, okay, so for me,
recently Clemson has been kind of.
I'm gonna let him finish though.
Clemson has been kind of getting on my nerves lately with the Dabu thing, saying about FSU canceling. I think that was bullshit.
Well, I'm a fan of FAMU, of course, because my mother went there. I'm a fan of Florida State because my sister went there. Not so much a fan of USF, even though I went there.
USF fan.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. I prefer UCF, honestly. The only reason I'm gonna say I like UCF more than USF is because when I was over in Orlando, I didn't even go to UCF, but I was going over there to go to parties and stuff, and those parties were amazing.
Like UCF,
I had a great time. Hey, look, I'm gonna be real with you. Look, I got a FAMU tag on my truck, and I have nothing USF in my house except my diploma. I'm going to be real with you.
Yeah,
I've been to more FAMU games in my lifetime than USF games.
You paid for it. So years ago, before I moved to Gainesville, became a Gator fan. I was a Florida State fan. Funny, we talked about Deion Sanders. I was a Deion Sanders fan. because I was in the Cards and I loved Dion. Dion just had the most swagger I'd ever seen in a human outside of maybe Muhammad Ali, and I loved Dion in every way possible. Then I moved to Gainesville. I even had a Florida State charm. I moved to Gainesville and fell in love with that team, and I converted from being a Seminole to a Gator. And the rest, I know that doesn't happen very often. I wasn't even.
Wow.
Yeah. But I wasn't like it's not like my parents went to Florida State or I even really followed college football when I was a kid. I just love Dion. That's why I like Florida State because because of how much I love Dion. But when once I got there and I just happened to be there during the Spurrier years, Granny Werfel years when we won our championships, so it wasn't hard for me to convert at that point. And now I'm a big Gator. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you a question pertaining to Dion before we get out of here at the end of the night. Just I'm gonna try to remember it, but I'm gonna get back to it. But one other thing that happened this past weekend was, well, two things. Texas has unrealistic expectations because if you go back and look at their history, one of their most winningest coaches resigned after finishing number 3 in the country and going 9-2. He just said, the fans put unrealistic expectations on this team, and there's no way you can ever please them. And then but he also stepped down for health issues. And now the other thing too was Coastal Carolina beat up on BYU and they won 22-17. And I was so happy to see that. I even said it last week. That's why he laughing. That's why he laughing now. Because I told him, I was like, look, give me your honest opinion of BYU. And then I told him, I was like, I think Coastal will beat BYU, honestly. But that's neither here nor there.
Wait, are we doing wrap-up thoughts? Because if we are, Texas is back, baby. That's a lot. And dang it, BYU lost me money on the goal line.
They're frauds.
I'm happy for him. So those are my two questions. How do y'all feel about Texas? And do y'all think Coastal deserves to be in a New Year's Six bowl?
I don't really follow the NCAA that close to be able to get. I know about the Coastal, debate. It's tough, man. When teams like that find themselves in the national discussion. I mean, I'm all for. I like seeing the David versus Goliath type matchups. I mean, your adopted college team, the UCF Golden Knights,
right.
They went undefeated and they dubbed themselves national champions because nobody was going to give them the opportunity to actually earn it out there. So shit, why not let them play? It's a COVID year, bro. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just let them go.
And I didn't know about the Texas thing until y'all brought it up. So
I'm with you.
Yeah, I didn't know it was that bad with Texas.
Oh yeah, I mean every week it's like Tom Herman's fighting for his job. Like if
Texas is back.
But
I mean, to be fair, Texas is a huge football state. To be fair.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you've seen those high school stadiums down in Texas, they're like college stadiums.
It's a religion. Yeah, it's definitely a religion.
Yeah.
It's kind of understandable where they come from.
True. But you know what they say, though? They say if you want the religion part of it, go to Texas.
Always
if you want the ball players, come to Florida.
All day Florida.
Always. But now that we've reached the end of this and we can kind of wrap up the podcast, Stank, I finally have this question that I saved in my mind for you.
I am.
So you said you're a Deion Sanders fan. So I'm gonna take you back to the 1989 NFL draft. So if I remember correctly, the Falcons had the 5th pick and the Bucs had the 6th pick in that draft. And Deion was still on the board at that point. So what were your thoughts on, because I know you were a huge Bucs fan back then. what were your thoughts in that draft? Thinking like, oh my gosh, like
I
we're
want to
one
say
pick
we drafted
away,
Broderick Thomas
and we could get Dion in Tampa.
And don't forget that just look at the. Hold on, now I got to look it up because I want to speak on it. With I think Troy Aikman went, Barry Sanders went, Deion Sanders went, all in front of the Bucs. So hold on, but NFL draft 89.
Yep.
Just so I can talk about what a fucking epic draft that was, and then how we took it. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I also failed to mention that. Yeah, okay. It's Aikman went first overall. Tony Mandrich, which at the time was like this megalodon, tackle or guard from Wisconsin. This guy looked like or Michigan State. I'm sorry, no brainer on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Barry Sanders went third. Derek Thomas went fourth. Dion went fifth, and we ended up with Broderick Thomas. So that's just to tell you like the way the luck has been for this franchise forever. We just close, just right there, but just doesn't work out that way. So yeah, I was obviously destroyed back then. Shout out to Broderick Thomas. He wasn't a bad Buck, but he wasn't Derek Thomas or Deion Sanders or my favorite player of all time, Barry Sanders. That having any of the guys outside of Mandridge would have been an upgrade.
Right. Yeah. I agree. Because I mean, even Tony Dungy was saying too, like if there was any player that he could have had on his teams back then, he said that he would have wanted Barry Sanders.
To me is the greatest back of all time. I just like that style of running back as well. But the guy was special, man. I got to see him in person many times. I got to see him run all over the Bucs. At the old Guerrero many times. I got to meet him in person and hang out with him and his brother at a card show when I was a kid. Really cool dude. It just, the guy played for the love of football. How about this? His own father didn't even give him the credit of being the greatest of all time. His own father said Jim Brown was better. Yeah. And don't forget the backfield that Barry played in at Oklahoma State with Thurman Thomas. Crazy
That's
shit.
True.
That is true, yeah.
Like the old back in the day, Barry Sanders and Thurman Thomas, they played
I didn't know
together.
that.
Leather
Wow.
helmets on.
That is awesome. Wow. But folks, as you know, that's going to do it for us tonight. This has been a fantastic episode. I really like this.
Y'all having me on for
This wasn't good.
Oh no, you're good, man. I love this. I love this. But before we go, Stank, tell the people where they can find
on
you.
YouTube at the Loose Cannons Podcast and at Buccanidiots Podcast. It's been a crazy ride for us this year, man. We've had a lot of really awesome guests. Like I said, Ronald Jones was on us on with us last week. We've had the center Ryan Jensen. Tomorrow we're recording with Paige D'Amico, who's the CEO of the Draft Network. I know you guys are obviously big college guys, so you're probably big draft guys as well. Paige will be on with us tomorrow, and just follow us. Just follow me there, and just I say outlandish shit all the time. Like to have a good time, and hit me up. I'll follow you back.
For sure. Awesome. I'm gonna save Josh for last. Flash, you got anything?
Like any thoughts?
Yeah.
I mean, I think when NBA season starts in like a few weeks, I'll get more into deep depth about this. But I think the Wizards are a serious sleeper team. I'll talk about that why in a few weeks when we talk more about it when the NBA starts.
Okay. Josh, you got anything?
Sir, address me as Jay.
All right, JC, you got anything?
This was a really fun podcast. I would have thought that we would have been able to get you like later on when we move to our new format.
Have me back on if y'all ever.
Oh, we gonna have him back. Don't worry. We can get him back.
Video stream together.
Let me know. Our people.
That's fine. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I got a whole staff.
Our people will reach out to your people, and then we'll talk to people. Absolutely. Texas is back. And the greatest laugh that I always have at the expense of the Bucs is that you drafted Bo Jackson.
That's fine. We deserve it. Fuck you.
I'm done.
Overhouse for pissing off Bo and then taking him.
It's cool. I got anything else? Let me think. Shouts out to my putter.
Oh my gosh.
I'm using it as a camera stand right now. Shouts out to Mimi for holding my caddy bag.
Mimi. Wow.
Damn, I like it.
And
I wish
all I
I
got.
had a shout
That's all I got.
Shout out to Des Bryant. That's the positive.
Oh snap.
That's cold. That one's cold.
That is. Let's see. My closing thoughts. BYU, anytime, any team, anywhere.
Tell that to Washington.
Exactly.
Hold on. Wait. You just reminded me. I'm really mad. I lost money on BYU.
Josh, if you had even heard about the episode from last week, you would understand.
Oh, it's
man,
on Twitter.
Listen, I was like, okay, lightning quick offense. Yeah, you know what? I was cooling. For once, I actually. Can I say this? Hold on. Let me mute my Alexa. For once, I stole the game. All right, I was like, cool. We finna watch this, right? Gets down to the end. Breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. But you know what? Shouts out to Coastal Carolina. I'm glad they were able to be able to overcome that and let them play again.
Yeah. But as always, as y'all know, that's going to do it. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay blessed. We'll see you on the next episode.
Hey, whoa, you forgot about the whole thing. Don't forget to hit us up.
Oh, yeah.
At
snap.
Talk, at Throw Flags on Instagram. If you need to email us, it's, what's that long thing again?
flagontheplaysports@gmail.com.
Don't forget to
hit us up on Spotify.
Check the Spotify. And also, if you wanna fight on Twitter, my boy's thing is JP.
Why you gotta do all that?
What?
Why you gotta do that?
What I do?
Oh my god!
That is accurate.
It's great.
Definitely.
My only job here is to make sure that we are technically sound, and then I just read the tweets and make sure that everything's okay.
Which is good. Every
it's
show.
It's literally my job.
Like you hit me with the Bo Jackson smack, and that's good.
Oh,
could have said you
definitely
feed Marshawn Lynch on the 1 yard line in the Super Bowl. I could have said that. You know what I mean?
What?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
please.
Hold on now. We ain't had to go there now.
Oh, snap.
We ain't had to go there now. Hold on now. We can hash this out.
Oh, snap. Yeah, y'all stay safe. Y'all stay blessed. We'll see you on the next episode.
I just threw down my hat, so it's all business right now.
Oh, snap.